Hello, and welcome back to All the Mods 8. We're up to episode 7 now. In between episodes, I've done a little bit of mining as usual. Our new powered golden furnaces have just been chewing through this backlog, so we've now got heaps of smelted resources. You might notice there's probably a few less here than when we left off last time, and that's because I've got a bunch in my inventory. In the backpack here, ready to craft away. So I've got some big plans for this episode, as you might have noticed from the side here. So I think it would be good to start working towards applied energistics for storage. Now that we have some form of power that's pretty, sustainable, it would be really good to be able to get rid of some of these chests and storage things. So the basic things we'll need to get into applied energistics are an energy acceptor for us to put the power into, an ME controller, which will be the main controller of the network, some drives to store items, and of course a terminal. All of these things require some form of Certus quartz, whether it's turned into fluix or just as is, broken down for the glass. So I'd really like to get a renewable setup of Certus quartz going. So to do this, we're going to need these flawless budding Certus quartz blocks. So these, when placed down, will just generate Certus quartz on them. We can use a growth accelerator to make it go faster, so we will be doing that as well. But the thing with these flawless budding Certus quartz is that they can only be found inside the meteors. So that's the Certus quartz meteors, like this one here that we found earlier. And there are a few others around. There's one down here, and I think that might be one there. Yeah, so I think it must be a bit of a chance inside the meteor whether it will have flawless budding Certus quartz or not. And if it does, if you mine it up, it won't give you a flawless budding Certus quartz back. It'll give you one of the other ones, which are the damaged, chipped, flawed. So in order to pick up these flawless budding Certus quartz blocks, we need cardboard boxes. So cardboard boxes are from Mechanism, and it's just made out of sawdust. And pretty much you can put this cardboard box around a block and then mine up the cardboard box, and it'll keep the tile entity inside. So we can put the cardboard box onto the flawless budding Certus quartz and use that to kind of move it around. We can also use these for spawners and things like that. But to make them, of course, we need sawdust. And to get sawdust, we need to pulverize some logs. You can also do it with a sawmill, but I figure that we're probably going to be having to make a pulverizer soon anyway, so might as well make one now. Pulverize down some wood into sawdust, make a cardboard box, go find the flawless budding Certus quartz so that we can start generating Certus quartz. Are you still with me? Now, there's even more of a rabbit hole than that, because in order to help us find these meteors, I was thinking it would be great to have a bit of an easier way to get around. So we're going to also make a golden jetpack. So to make the golden jetpack, you have to go up through the tiers. I need to make a wood one and a stone one and an iron one to get the gold one. And then we also need to make a charging station to charge it. So I'm pretty sure I have all the stuff in my inventory right now for the pulverizer, the charging station, the gold jetpack, the iron jetpack, stone jetpack, wood jetpack. We're going to craft it all. Craft it all right now. So I'm just going to start crafting. And we're back. So I made pulverizer, charging station, and went through all the different jetpacks to get this gold jetpack. I accidentally made basic coils when I shouldn't have, so my numbers were a bit off. I also don't know why I have this deep slate. Or the extra redstone dust. But that's fine. That's fine. Now that we've got a pulverizer, I'm thinking I'm going to put it just up the top here. Because if you think about it, most of the things that we process through the furnaces, we want to pulverize first. So if we put it up here, I can pretty easily run a cable up to power it. It's getting power there. So we've got the pulverizer all ready for the logs. Grab some logs from this full drawer over here. I'll replace this with a chest. And the pulverizer, we want the configuration to be in from the top, auto input. We've got all the sawdust pulverizing up. We get quite a bit from each log, so one stack should be plenty. While that's running, I'm going to go downstairs and plug the charging station just into the energy pipe here. So I should be able to put the gold jetpack in there and that'll start charging. I think this will drain our power pretty quick because it can hold 10 million FE. And only 1 million can be held. And the redstone flux cell can only hold 1 million. I'm guessing it's draining out of the dynamos first though, so they'll have a bit in them and then... Oh boy, that's going to take a while to charge. I just had a thought that maybe this Tinker's workbench might be able to charge the jetpack a little faster. And it's quite cheap, so I'm just going to quickly make one of those. I think that's a little bit faster. The backlog in our magmatic dynamos still hasn't run out though, which I'm quite surprised about. So, it might not even actually charge fast enough to draw much power. I think it's a little bit faster, but only slightly, if at all. So while that's charging, I'll make up our cardboard boxes. And so we're good to go. As soon as this jetpack has charged a bit more, I'll be off to find some more meteors. Well, it's been a long time, but the jetpack's finally charged. There should be a slot for it, surely. Oh, yep. Gold jetpack. So, I've got keybinds for engine on, engine off, and hover on, hover off. So let's see how good this jetpack is. Engine on, hover on. Wow. This is really quick. Oh, this is going to make finding these meteors so much easier. We're going to start with going through the waystone. Since there's one right here. I'm actually going to pick up this waystone and take it with us so that we can get back pretty easily. And I'm just going to fly from meteor to meteor. And I'll be back when we find some flawless Certus quartz. So I came across this random little shack in the middle of nowhere, and in this barrel was a book. And I saw that there's a villager up here that I can trade a book with for a blue journal. This item needs to only be used once. An adventurer's guide, the gatekeeper. Unlocked a tab in my inventory. Wow. So I think this adds a bunch of different dimensions that you can go to. Yeah, looks like it's a couple of them. We'll have to have a look into that in future. I managed to find a bunch of emeralds on this trip as well, so I can trade him for the Zeal lighter. I'm assuming this is needed somehow for... Oh yeah, to ignite the portals. There we go. Might get 2 just to be safe. Well, back to it. Now, as you probably saw, that ended up being a bit more of an adventure than I expected. We found a couple of temple things that look really similar to the desert temples, but are in just sort of forests and grasslands. So they had some pretty good chests in them. This jetpack, though, is so fast. It makes getting around just so easy. So things of note that I got, I managed to find a mending book, which was pretty cool. And then we got 5 flawless budding Certus quartz in cardboard boxes. As well as that, we got a good 31 Certus quartz blocks, which can be turned into regular Certus quartz, and 1 dust from breaking the gems. We also got our waystone back because it's so fast to travel between places. I also got this necklace, thorn pendant, which has a chance to damage attackers. I guess just like the Thorn's enchantment. So we'll wear that. It's pretty sweet. Pop back down here and throw our jetpack back on to charge, since that takes forever. And now, with these flawless budding Certus quartz, it's time to make sure we never run out of Certus quartz. So I'm thinking I'll do it down here. And the idea is that these flawless Certus quartz will go here. I'll keep 1 just in case. Now, in order to make the system the way I really want to make it, I am going to need a few applied energistics machines to kind of get started. The inscriber, which uses the presses that we found to make printed silicon, printed calculation circuits, printed logic circuits, and printed engineering circuits. I'm also going to need a charger to charge up the Certus quartz into the charged Certus quartz, which we can then use to make Fluix crystal. So for now, I'm going to put a bit of water in here that we can use to make Fluix crystal. I'm going to make a inscriber and a charger. So I think I've got everything here. Charger. Two pistons. Make him sticky. And inscriber. So I know this charger I can just plug straight into power and it'll pick it up. I'm not as sure about the inscriber. Oh yeah, looks like it's picking up some of the energy there. Since these are both the sort of starting machines, I guess they aren't expecting you to make an energy acceptor. Now, before I get into using these machines, I would like to make sure that I'm picking up as many of the quest rewards as I can, because I think it'll give us resources that will actually help. So the first one gave us some Certus quartz dust, which is great. And first things first, which is the two machines we just made, gave us a random reward and XP, of course. The random reward, I think, was just some more Certus quartz dust. To continue along this, it wants us to make a meteorite compass. So that's just a regular compass in the charger, which I feel like we got one of those from something. Ah, there it is. So charger, meteorite compass. So that gives us 4 skystone and another random reward. It's really hoping for some Fluix with these random rewards, but that's fine. I've grabbed some redstone dust and nether quartz, so I'm just going to charge up some of the Certus quartz. And now if we throw it in the water with redstone and nether quartz, we should see some Fluix pop out. So that's how you get Fluix. I see I need some dust for the quest. So I think I can just put one through this inscriber. And that'll be the dust. Let's get in these quest rewards. So for this little setup I have in mind, I'm going to need to make a crystal growth accelerator, 4 of these annihilation planes, an energy acceptor, and probably just a bunch of glass cable. Oh, and I mustn't forget the storage bus as well. If we start with the crystal growth accelerator, I need a bunch of this quartz glass, a Fluix block, 2 cable, and some iron. Just like that. Now next, I want 4 of these annihilation planes. So that means some more charged quartz turned into Fluix. I'll need some annihilation cores, which need logic processors. The logic processors, of course, need a printed logic circuit, a printed silicon, and redstone. The silicon comes from smelting up nether quartz or Certus quartz dust. Silicon goes in with the silicon press to the inscriber, and then the printed logic circuit, the printed silicon, and the redstone is also combined in the inscriber for the logic processes. These combined with flux dust and nether quartz gives annihilation cores. The annihilation cores with some flux crystal and iron gives the annihilation planes. So next, I'll make the ME storage bus. That requires an interface, which needs another annihilation core and a formation core. The formation core is a very similar recipe to the annihilation core, except with Certus quartz instead of nether quartz. Annihilation cores and formation cores. Combined with some iron and glass makes an interface. The interface with a sticky piston and a non-sticky piston makes the storage bus. So the last thing we're going to need here is the energy acceptor. So this will convert the energy from the Fe that we're generating from our magmatic dynamos to the applied energistics energy that will power the whole system. So this one's really easy. It's just some quartz, glass, iron, and copper. So if we come back down to our setup here, I'll pick the water up. So in here, I'll put the crystal growth accelerator. So this will increase the speed at which these flawless quartz blocks generate their crystals. It does need power though. So on top of that, I'm going to put the glass cable and the annihilation planes will go around that. On top of that, we'll go another glass cable. This will have the storage bus and the energy acceptor, which I will switch into its flat mode. Now we'll attach a drawer to the storage bus. So the way this whole system works is that these annihilation planes, they break blocks in front of them and pick up the drops. Now, these annihilation planes don't have any sort of interface or GUI or anything, but they pick up what's in front of them based on where they can deposit the items. Because all we have attached to this mini little network is an oak drawer, these annihilation planes will only break and pick up things that it can store in the drawer. Therefore, if we put a Certus quartz crystal in this drawer, these will only break and pick up things that will drop Certus quartz crystals. So that's how to stop these annihilation planes from breaking the crystals before they're fully grown. If you break crystals before they're fully grown, it will only drop dust. Whereas if you wait till they're fully grown, it'll drop a Certus quartz crystal. So all that's left to really do is to plug this into power, device online. Oh, these now have the animation, the annihilation planes. So these will now break anything that's in front of them that will drop Certus quartz crystal. But only Certus quartz crystal, because there's nowhere on this little network for any other items to go. So now, if we just remove the cardboard boxes, the crystal growth accelerator is online as well. Oh, there we go. You'll see these start to grow. And it was harvested. And you'll see now we have 5 Certus quartz. Cool, right? I really like this system. It's a really good way to use these annihilation planes and to trick them into only picking up the fully grown crystals. Now, if we wanted to make this run a bit faster, I believe that I could make another 4 growth accelerators and put them in these spots here. I mean, I could surround the whole thing, really, even these spots here as well. And it would go even faster. But I think for now, this is more than enough. Going AFK for just a little while will get us many, many crystals. So for now, I'm just going to make it look a bit nicer by putting these sky stones in between. And one last thing, I'm going to move the storage bus to the top. just because I think it looks a little better having it as a sort of just a pillar. So, I'm assuming we're pretty much out of time for this episode. I'm amazed that we got everything done that I wanted to, which is awesome. I mean, this thing has already got us 49 Certus quartz, and it's just going to keep going. I might even go AFK for a while, just so we can just pile up on these Certus quartz. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want. Like the video. And I'll see you in the next episode. That turned into quite a complicated one. So, hope you're still with us, and subscribe. Just subscribe. Just click the button and the bell.